We're going to start by talking about generational differences and doing an overview on that subject, because I think really understanding the generations really help you understand that how to recruit, manage, and retain those different groups of people. We still have 4 generations in the workforce. We have the silents or traditional. I like the word traditional better, but that's individuals that are nearing retirement. Most of them are retired. And then baby boomers who were born between 1946 and 1964. And that's a large generational group, as most people know, are still in the workforce. The next generation would be Generation X, which were born between 1964 and 1980. And then our newest generation would be Generation Y, or millennials, as they're called, which would be in the workforce, are born between 1980 and the year 2000. And that's actually the largest, our largest generation, about 80 million people in that generation. Well, it is a generation that's somewhat been maligned by, not supposedly not having a strong work ethic, being kind of overly needy and needing a lot of coaching and hand-holding. And I think the reality is that we're going to be in good hands with that generation, which that generation is going to make up about 50% of the workforce 8 years from now. But really with that group, it's a group that likes to be connected to the culture of the organization. They like to have a career path. They like to be challenged. They like to be mentored. They like feedback. They want to be involved. They're a very civic-minded group of people, so they'll be involved in the community. They're motivated by money, but that's not their primary. They're really primarily motivated by being on a good career path and learning and being challenged. Generation X as a generation was a little bit of a counter-culture, kind of a group, and Generation Y, or the millennial group, really they don't have a need to break away from authority, but it's a mutual respect kind of a relationship. They have to see the competence there in order for that respect to be there. So it is a two-way street. They're looking for a place where they can grow, learn, be challenged, fill a bigger role in society. So I think when you're recruiting them, you want to talk about maybe charities that they can be involved with, or community activities they can be involved with that the company would sanction. You want to talk to them about a career path. You want to talk to them about how they're going to be mentored. What's the training program going to look like, and really you have to back it up. You can't just talk about it in the interview. There was an article that just came out yesterday on Career Builder that talked about how millennials aren't sticking, and I think in some cases companies maybe are overselling their culture. So I think it starts with having a culture that does support those career development, kind of bigger causes, mentoring, and I think those are really the hot buttons to push with that group of people. It's a hard mix because you have to be genuine. Because I think they'll see through if it's not genuine and real, but the reality is, the other side of that is that they do want organizations that are contemporary, that are kind of savvy to technology and social media, and presenting themselves in a way that's sort of non-hierarchical, and I think with a certain amount of the ownership of companies still being part of that more traditional generation, that can be kind of a clash a little bit. So companies really need to look at their culture and make adjustments as they go forward, because that millennial workforce is going to be the largest hunk of the workforce going forward. I think more communication around generational differences and creates understanding, and then therefore, I think it's understood a little bit. When it's understood and communicated about, on both sides, I think it's accepted a little bit more. And I think that the Generation Y, or the millennials, are accepting, of authority. So I think it's making the move toward being more informal, creating fun in the workplace, having a more relaxed environment, being flexible about work hours. These are all things that are sort of counter to the more traditional time and attendance, but really companies will need to make that shift if they're going to retain that workforce. In the old model, it would be you have a job, you go attract the candidates via an ad, or you recruit them and you bring them in. I think more important, it's important to have your brand out there in advance so that people maybe have heard about the company. Maybe they've heard someone say good things in a video like this, about the company. And so I think it's really getting your brand in front of them. And then when you attract them, it's just like any other kind of marketing, it's impressions, impression management with that group of people. You're not necessarily going to be able to just go grab them with an ad. They may have already need to be aware of you.